Hey everyone, I'm Los, here with Dustin, back with another episode of On the Torch. We're really stoked to be back with you guys. This time I actually edited some of the video and did some of the filming. We're trying to make it more consistent, so having me in-house doing that will hopefully do that.
Yeah, it was really great working with you on the editing process. So it was definitely Carlos's very first time editing any video.
Anything.
We consulted with Kevin a lot on it and gave us some good pointers. So we did kind of a simple demo today. We did a condension spoon, just like a reverse of Maria. And that way we only had 2 camera angles and gave Carlos some different stuff to work on, but they're just gonna get better and better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Towards the end of the video, it was coming really natural for him, and we got some new sound equipment, so should make the audio a little bit better too. So it's exciting. We definitely have some in the works, and we'll be doing some more videos soon. But we also have started doing an On the Torch live session. That's going to be at Sundays, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Pacific time, and that's with me and my son Shiloh. He's 13.
He's going to be moderating it,
He's
right?
going to be moderating it, and
Awesome.
we're going to do some short live demos, Q&A, things like that, live interaction. So that's on our other channel, Revere Glass Live, and there's a link. It's the featured channel. If you're on our YouTube channel, it's the featured channel. You can check it out, and please join us on Sunday. I'd love to say hello, and happy to take requests for demos, both for On the Torch and demos for On the Torch Live. Please send those to dustin@revereglass.com.
Yeah, that's going to be great because, you can interact with the people a lot more, and they can really ask questions on the go. So definitely tune in for that, guys, for sure.
Yep. So what are you working on these days, Carlos?
I've been making those forest and tree rigs, and this is one of them right now. This has a nice little dabber that's removable. I made my nice little signature millie on the back with the tree.
Beautiful.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I've really been working hard on getting them good, and they're starting to come out nicely. So,
Nice.
What about you, man? What have you been working on?
I've been working with droplets and making marinis. Working on some new techniques with marinis. Not ready to put any of those out yet, but this is a basket weave, which is kind of cool.
Really cool one.
And then we have some clear ones. So if you guys are interested in either the trees or any of the droplets for wholesale or retail inquiries, just send an email to info@revereglass.com, and we'll definitely love to get you hooked up with a droplet or a tree rig, or as Carlos calls them, trigs.
The trigs.
Yeah. Make sure to check him out on Instagram, Los1Glass, or Revere Glass, and definitely you'll see some updates to the work and things like that. So what are you smoking on?
I got some White Widow from Golden Ratio Extracts.
Beautiful.
It's looking proper. Really nice.
Yeah, they do a
tasty
good
stuff.
job.
Oh yeah. What about you? What you got over there?
I got some CBD crystal, as usual, is what I've been into smoking. I get this from Guild Extracts up in Northern California.
Yeah, they have great flavors for sure.
Yeah, and they've been adding terpenes into different crystals. It's really interesting stuff. There's a cannabis scientist who works there.
I was just there at HempCon with them, and we tried some of their crystallized CBD with jack chirps in it. And
It's silly.
oh my god,
Yeah.
so flavorful, so flavorful. Yeah.
Yeah, so we are going to start doing some events. You can check us out some of the hemp cons in California, and definitely in Telegraph we'll be blowing glass a little bit. We're gonna put an event list up on the website and a travel list. So if I'm in an area or we're in an area that you're gonna be, hit us up, stop by, blow some glass with us. We'd love to see you.
Yeah, we always love to say hi to people who watch the videos or who just, want to get into glass blowing, have never seen glass blowing. It's really cool to show people the process of what we do because a lot of people aren't familiar at these events. Sometimes it's glass related, sometimes it's not, so it's really cool to educate the public, and they enjoy it for sure. So we hope to see you guys out there.
Cool, yeah, just check the website for a list of events and locations that we'll be at. But for now, I think we'll demonstrate how to make the condension spoon right here, just like Reverse Maria. You guys can check that out. We'll watch it with you, and we'll see you in a second.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, thank you. All right, so back again with Los One Glass, and going a little European style today. Gonna smoke a spliff before the demo.
That's spliff life, for sure. It's a good life.
So we want to do something kind of simple for beginners who maybe are just starting off, and also to help Carlos do the editing, because we definitely want to give a shout out to Los for helping us with the editing and getting organized.
Thanks. I'm stoked to do it, for sure.
So the first step is I'm just putting on silver on a rod, and I'm cleaning off my rod right now and getting it ready to apply some silver. I've showed this in a couple other videos. I know definitely on the Inside Out Flare video, so you can definitely check some references on that. But basically, I'm just taking the silver, picking it up on the marver, and then I'm going to put it in the flame and use a little bit of a reducing flame, slight reducing flame, to get it to melt in, and then to put it on the piece.
So we're gonna work a couple blow tubes here, get them flared out, ready to make our blanks.
I'm just heating up the jacks because I want the wax to be liquid or liquidy when it touches the glass, and that way it'll form a bed of steam in between. So I'm just grabbing a couple 12mm tubes to have ready for the piece when I need it. Always put the hot end away from me, so I know that the cold end is closer to me.
So here's some 26 mil tubing that we're gonna close out so we can use for the body of our blank.
So I'm just grabbing it with my tweezers and pulling out the end, and as I pull it, I heat it a little bit and make it a nice round bottom, and that'll be the perfect size and shape to connect to the blow tube to make the blank. We've gone over making blanks a bunch in the videos before, or pulling points depending on what you're trying to do, but this really good way, just grab it with your tweezers or a piece of glass, pull it off, make sure you put the stringers in the bucket, and then blow in a little bit and make a round bottom.
So Dustin thinned that out by blowing it out, and then now it's nice and open. He's gonna shape it a little bit with his jacks and get it ready to connect to that blow tube.
So grab the blow tube in my right hand and the blank in my left, the tubing in my left, and just heat them up so they're nice, like almost white hot. And right as they reach that point, I just connect them, stick them together, and then pull a little bit. So connect them, stick them, and now I'm just pulling just a little bit to even out that seal.
Real important to have a good seal there. You don't want something breaking off right there when you're in the middle of working on a project.
Yeah, or at the end. I mean, typically that seal tends to break like right as you finish.
Yeah, exactly. It can ruin a really nice piece.
So I got my new, I think it's Star-Kissed or Sun-Kissed glass on Etsy. I got this roller. It's pretty cool. It's like a V-blade marver, but the wheels are sharpened. So I'm just heating up the tube. I'm going to make a hot area where I want it to break, and then put it in the new V-blade tool that I got, and it'll chop it off and make a good piece for my next connection.
Yeah, that new V-blade tool seems to work pretty nicely.
So I just pop it off, put that down for later, and then I'm going to start heating this up. The first thing I'm going to do is grab it and melt it and close it and create another round bottom on the bottom. So I'm just heating that up, got my jacks, open it up a little bit first, and flatten that out. I'm going to open it up first, and then I'm going to fume inside, and that way I'll have the fume on the inside to make sure that it's in a good place and at a good point of the piece where I can put it in and then condense it and still have the fume on the inside, so it has like an inside out sort of look.
Yeah, it's a good way to add detail to the piece. Fairly affordable too. Silver is pretty cheap, and you can add a lot of really cool accents to a piece.
Yeah, you want to definitely just make sure you have really good ventilation and really good airflow in your studio if you're vaporizing metals.
Absolutely.
So I'm just heating up. You can see it go right on there on the inside. It changed color really fast, and that's as the silver is vaporizing. It's flying through the air and then attaching to the tube. So I had to heat up the tube a little bit to make sure that it was hot enough for the silver to stick.
Now you're heating up that tube, heating up the end, and we're going to condense that down and close it up.
So just rolling on the marver, heating it up, and then I'm going to roll it on the marver and close it off. And then once it's closed off, I'll be able to make that round bottom. It's always good to wipe off your marver and make sure that there's no dust or glass particles there, because if you roll on that, your glass is hot and that's a little hot, then it's going to stick.
So here Dustin's using his step-down tweezers to close that end up. We're going to seal it up, make it into a nice round bottom.
Just pull that off, just like we did before, and make it a round bottom. You can use tweezers or glass for that.
So now we're giving a good heat to that end, blowing into it, rounding it off, making sure we have a nice round bottom there so we can start working on our piece. Dustin adjusted the flame there. He's going to go into the little tighter precise flame and start the condensations.
Yeah, so I'm going to heat up the front and attach a punny, and then I'm going to do my first condension. You can either do it at the front or the back, but you want to go in one direction, so that way you can try to do even spacing and be aware of it. I'm going to do the front first because it's the hottest point, and it's also going to mark how much I'm leaving for my bowl, for how much I'm going to blow out from my bowl.
Yeah, it's good to plan ahead. You don't want to make condense the area down that you meant to blow out, and then you'll have some problems with your spoon. So always think ahead, know what you're going to try to make at the end before you go in.
So I'm heating it up, and as I'm heating it up, I'm letting it fall in on itself a little bit, and it's getting thicker and thicker. And so as opposed to pulling or anything like keeping it in one place, I'm actually pushing just a little bit as it condenses, and that's going to help keep the wall thickness the same outer diameter, but condense the inner diameter of the wall thickness. And this is basically like the opposite of a Maria.
Mm-hmm. It's a Maria that goes in, basically. So it's important that, like, when you're adding the pressure, you make sure you let it condense down and thicken up on the inside. If you just heat it up and start doing pressure, it's going to create a Maria like it normally does.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So again, I'm just heating it up. I'm going to do probably 3 of these, maybe 4. Heat it up, let it all fall in on itself, and it's going to make like an hourglass shape on the inside. If you want, you can roll it on your marver, or if you have like a torch mounted marver, that's a good place to roll these. I'm going to go in on the next one. And you guys can practice this. It's great for perks, or it's great for cans, mouthpieces. It's just a cool little technique that can be applied to a lot of different kinds of pieces.
Yeah, with the silver in there too, it really shows nicely.
Yeah, you guys could even do this with like straight inside out, where you guys are decorating the inside of a flare, or frit inside out, anything like this. All those techniques will work with the condension and give you cool effects.
Yeah, I'll add a nice lens to everything you put in there, so it'll really pop.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go in on my, last one or second to last one, and heat that up, and that's where the mouthpiece is gonna be. So I'm gonna get a little bit careful and make sure that I'm not moving my blow tube around too much, and just heat it up and let it condense back on itself. Now our heat going in on it with a very precise flame, and that's where I'm going to be detaching the blow tube from the piece when it's done. So I want to make sure that that's a nice seal, that it's thick enough and wide enough for me to take off and leave a really nice mouthpiece. And this will give you a really cool color changing effect, the silver. That's what makes the color changing effect on pipes. And as you smoke, it creates a dark background, and then that makes the silver pop out.
So Dustin took his punty off there. I was going to clean off the end, and then we're going to get ready to work on the bowl part of our piece here.
So there's a little bit of schmutz there on the piece, so I'm just going in with my mini torch and then the Delta mag, and just going to pull that off. So that's like a little piece of dirt or something that I picked up when I was marvering it, and as long as it's on a thick enough spot and you go in precise enough, you can definitely remove any blemishes or anything else like that might be on the piece.
So now he'll heat that up, get that nice and even, and we'll start working on blowing out the bubble for the bowl.
So heat it up, going on into a marver, and just making sure that all the sides are the same thickness, and it looks really good. So we're just marvering it. You can see the hourglass shape in there, all really even.
A couple more marbers just to make sure that shape is nicely even. And then we're gonna start concentrating on the front end of that. Getting some nice heat, rotating into the flame, bringing it out, giving it a couple puffs to even out, and building that bowl.
So we're heating up the front and gonna heat it up, blow it out, condense it a couple times, make sure it's the right size and shape for what I want for the piece. The bigger you get and the closer to the condension that you get, you're going to start to warp and move that condension around. So you got to make sure that there's enough space in there, and that you have heated up just enough so that you get the right size, but not start to distort what you've done and the work that you've already put in there.
So now that we're happy with the bubble we blew, we're going to get a little bit more precise of the flame so we can blow out our bowl.
And this is just like any of the other pieces that we've done. We use a precise flame, switch back and forth between up and down so that it doesn't melt in any particular direction. Blow a little bit, puff it out, pop the hole, and then push the bowl. And you want to spin a little bit.
Want to get a little bit of angle on that bowl too to make sure that you can see what you're smoking on.
Yep, that's important. Definitely want to check that out and know when you're empty, and you also want that hole pointed towards the front, not towards you, so that when it ashes, you don't get any ash in your mouth and it just hits the front of that bowl.
We heated up the bottom of that bowl, and then we bring it over to our marber, touch the mouthpiece first, and flatten that on down.
So just heating up the area where the carb is going to be, blow that out, and pop a little hole there, and then grab some clear glass, put on a couple of lenses so it can magnify it a little bit.
Just little accents to make a piece a little bit more unique.
Once you got those on there, you just heat them up, melt them back in, make sure that it's all flush and that there's no lines or edges or any angles in between any of that stuff.
Yeah, if you don't melt that stuff in, it can cause stress, and that can be a place where your piece might crack. And here we have the finished piece, ready to go into the kiln, just ready to get taken off the blow tube. We're going to let it sit there for a little bit, and then we'll take it off.
So now that it's been in the kiln for a few minutes, probably about 10 minutes, I'm just going to light up my torch, grab it out of the kiln, and take it off. Make sure I wipe it off before I touch it with glass. I like to take things off with my diamond shears, but there are tons of other ways to do it.
Yeah, and I think in some of the other videos we've shown a couple different ways, so you can reference those. But here he'll just heat up the area where he wants to break it off, go in with his diamond shears, work it, and then set it down and break it off.
So once it's off, I'm just going to go in with a small flame, heat that up, grab one of my new tools, and put it back in the kiln. That's a Nathan Smith tool. They're really great. I'm really happy with them. And I'm using my brass reamer and a little paddle to flatten that out. So you guys can check that out. That's obviously for one of you guys. Just comment on the video, let us know what you think, and we will definitely send it out to you. I'm putting it in my Scut kiln. Scuts are really the best kilns for use for the professional and mid-level glassblower. They stay really consistent, and you guys can get those at Mountain Glass Arts. I know there's like a little discount involved yet. It's a new thing, so just ask Joe about it, and we'll figure out what the proper discount is. But definitely, if you're looking for a kiln, I would recommend the Scut.
Really nice piece, good silver accents there.
Yeah, you can see the colors, you can see the yellow right now, and as it gets smoked in, it'll start to turn more blue. Hey guys, welcome back. We hope you enjoyed the video, learned a trick or two, or maybe something you can utilize in your own work. I really like this technique because it's very universal. You can make this like the neck of mini tubes or rigs. You can make it the body, the can, you know.
Something like that.
Yeah, you can definitely use it for some sculpting techniques. So it's a great technique. It's a really easy technique that's great for beginners to try and practice and getting your hands steady. So let us know what you thought of it. Comment, ask questions, and we'll be sure to do another cool demo soon.
Absolutely. So we have a couple questions. First question comes from Tim S. He asked, how did you decide when to start selling what you were making?
Well, when I started making pipes, there wasn't other glass blowers, so there wasn't a lot of pieces or an established industry. So I started making glass pipes, and because they were glass, they were just automatically cool. Whereas now, there's a lot of beginner work available, and people need to practice a little bit more before they start selling it. So it's not as
it was a wide open market back then, right?
Yeah. So if I was starting now, I would try to wait as long as I could until my work got to a level that was comparable to the part of the market that I was trying to enter. So if you're trying to enter the complete entry level, make a few spoons in an area where there's not a glass blower, you don't need to wait quite as long. But if you want to come out really strong and have like a very clean body of work, it's going to take a little bit of time. So it's really personal judgment. But I would say show some of your friends, post some of your pictures online, and get some feedback. Go to some of the groups like the Revere Glass group where you can get feedback on Facebook. And you can post pictures there without going to a wider market and just kind of do some beta testing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's all great advice, just kind of feel it out mostly, All right, next question is from D-Line Joyce. He's asking about the shading in his glasses. He said, are shade 3 glasses enough when working with black, or should I be using shade 5 glasses?
Yeah, it's a question we get a lot, glasses. So I have all 3 pair. I have the purple for just clear, some everyday kind of stuff. I have the 3s, which I use a lot, especially in the videos. I use the 3s almost every time. And then the 5s is something I would use for when I was using black or blues, especially making marinis or seals, things like that, where you're really going to be getting that color white hot. It's really bright. So your eyes, it's a great thing to invest in, one of the best. You're going to have them with you the whole time, so try to protect them. I mean, spend the extra money on a few different pairs of glasses. If you can only afford one, you would want to get a 3 or a 5 for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Those bright colors, once you go in on them and then you come back out, you won't be able to see as clearly for your next stuff if you don't have the right shading. So real important to have a good shading for those bright colors. All right, one more question. This is from Aldo Chippress, and he wants to know, what are the high CBD dabs helpful for?
CBD, there's been a lot of scientific studies on CBD. You can just Google that and find the journals and the researchers that have done that. I don't know any to quote off the top of my head, but I know that there's been a lot of studies about CBD with epilepsy, which is why I use it, Alzheimer's, multiple sclerosis, anxiety, arthritis, dementia, just to name a few. But there's many cases of people and kids who take CBD oil and immediately stop having seizures. There's many cases. In fact, I know someone who had MS and started using cannabis and was literally able to get up out of the wheelchair.
Oh, wow.
So
that's huge.
Yeah, it's a huge medical benefit. I do know that we have CBD receptors in our brain, and we don't have receptors for any prescription drugs per se, but our bodies are designed to interact with cannabis from a biological standpoint, a physiological standpoint. So definitely do some research, find out what's right for you. If you're in a state where it's legal, try to consult with an expert, somebody with more experience. And I know a lot of this stuff is new right now, it's just becoming available. So there's not a lot of research on this as opposed to some other things that have been around for a long time.
Yeah, but it's definitely becoming bigger and bigger. We just had a UFC fighter, Nate Diaz, actually smoking on a pen. And he called it out. He's smoking on CBD oil. He uses it for inflammation and stuff like that. So it's growing more and more. And yeah, it's been shown to help so many people, so it's great that it's getting out there more and more. Absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of people who smoke really are going after the effects of the CBD
Yeah.
and don't necessarily want the effects of the THC. For some people, it's great, but to be able to have that choice and have those benefits of cannabis from CBD without the psychoactive enhancements, for me and for a lot of people, like Nate Diaz, he's in the ring fighting for his life, basically. Like, he wants to be on point and present, but he wants that swelling to go down, he wants inflammation to go down.
Yeah, exactly.
So those benefits are real, and they're out there, and do some research. And I mean, there's definitely a bunch of people doing specifically that kind of research, in the science world and on YouTube. And so check them out and see. But I would highly recommend CBD, especially for people who want those, anti-anxiety, anti-inflammation, epilepsy, MS, whatever, but don't necessarily want the psychoactive effects of THC.
Awesome. Well, we also have a winner. We need to give away that piece.
This crazy, ugly face from last time. Well, this was fun to make, and definitely, I loved making that joint too, out of the human skin color. Pretty
Molten
intense.
Aura with that great flesh tone.
Yeah, we got to give a shout out to Molten Aura for
Absolutely,
sure.
yeah.
And might as well thank all the sponsors. We want to thank Scut, Mountain Glass, GTT, Nathan Smith Tools, Griffin Glass, and HVO, man. We want to thank all those guys for helping the show.
Thank you so much. It means the world that you guys support us and what we do.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So one thing we want to definitely remind you guys is to ask questions. Let us know what you want to see. If you've asked a question in a previous video and we haven't answered it, it doesn't mean that we didn't think it was good. It means that we just had to choose 3 that week. So ask it again, because we need more questions to answer. You guys can definitely tune into Revere Glass on the Torch live on Sundays, and I'll be there with my son to answer any questions too about studio setup, wall thickness, whatever you guys are working on. So ask questions, stay curious, find it out, man. Go get it. So
absolutely,
we're here for you and for the help getting going.
And the winner of the ugly face,
the winner,
Lagman. This guy's yours. Just let us know. Send us an email to info@revereglass.com, and we will get that out to you.
Yeah, thank you for watching, and we'll be giving away the condension spoon next video, and we'll see you guys really soon.
Thanks
Thank you for joining
guys.
us.